I'm covered in bees. Ah, covered in bees.
Hello one, hello all. Emily, can you cut that shit out? Hello one, hello all. Welcome to this edition of Savage Cinema. Today we're covering Candyman. Candyman is adapted from a Clive Barker story, The Forbidden, which is a take on the Bloody Mary trope / urban legend. So this is a film that I wouldn't consider a slasher by normal standards. It's kind of, the pacing's not typical slasher by any stretch, but the early to mid 90s for mainstream horror certainly were a different period altogether for horror, being bookended by films like Silence of the Lambs and Seven. Candyman is right in the middle of those two releases as we're trying to be the best of both worlds, so maybe the horror people will like this and maybe the mainstream people will like this. If you also consider the far ahead of its time social nature of this film, the political aspect, there's something for both the black and white audience with this film. The pacing is slower than average slasher fare, but that's not unlike other Barker works such as Hellraiser. Like other Barker villains, Candyman is presented in a somewhat sympathetic light, in that they give you his backstory and why he's doing the things that he's doing, and all things considered, you kind of feel for him. Not unlike another horror icon. All right, I'll leave it out. No more talk of that. The interesting thing about Candyman that sets itself apart from, again, this isn't really a slasher to me, but another thing that separates this from normal slashers is the fact that Candyman kind of imprints himself on Helen, and it's much more an homage to Dracula, I would say. Imprinting, dazzling. I mean, it's right down to the imagery to the 1931 classic. Granted, Helen is presented in that lighting, not Candyman. Helen digs deeper and deeper and gets herself into the mouth of Candyman. Great imagery there of her actually crawling into the world of Candyman. Great shot there. And of course, Candyman uses her as a proxy to keep his legend alive. But for my money, the most crucial, just absolute A+ 5-star scene of the film is in the parking garage when Candyman first imprints on Helen.
Helen.
Yes?
That voice, that posture, that pose, that imposing walk, the lighting behind him, the shadowy figure, just everything about that scene really carries this film up for me, and perhaps has weighed it a little too heavy, in my opinion, as I look back on it in a fresh light for the first time in 20 years. I'm expecting a slasher film. It's hard to say you're gonna get a regular old slasher here. It depends on what kind of pacing you're looking for. Pacing and quality. At one end you have Bye Bye Man, and the other end you have Candyman, and I guess in between you have something like Urban Legend, which is faster paced. Candyman by far and away is the best urban legend film of the last 30 years in the horror genre. Everything about the film being made itself, the acting, the script, the camera work, the score. The score, I think, really carries the weight for this film. It's a really well-made movie in a genre filled with, hits and misses. As for the tits and hits, I don't think that counts. Side boob, there's side boob. I think there's bathtub boob too, but she's got her arms over. Not much. Again, this isn't really a slasher. I don't know why I'm covering this like this. Tits, they're side boob and bathtub boob. You're probably better off watching Batman v Superman for Amy Adams's bath boob. Not much in the tits category, but if it hits, you got some gruesome hook kills in this film. Certainly hits. There's certainly hits in this film. You gotta wait for it, but there's hits. Finally, Helen is off to save the baby in a pile of hood trash, which is ready for pyre. But what's gonna happen to that hood trash now?
He's gonna burn it.
Yeah, that's what we thought.
This movie's smarter than everything I'm talking about, by the way. I'm trying to slasher dumb down the synopsis. Plus, there's 4 other reviews of people that probably enjoyed it way more than I did in this viewing. I had it on a very high standard, considering that parking garage scene. It's my humble personal that if you take away that garage scene, that parking garage scene, this is just a pedestrian film. Again, well acted. I wouldn't put it in the slasher category. Because it's a slasher, the acting, the cinematography, everything about the way the film is made is really incredible. But as far as what you're looking for from a slasher, I wouldn't put this in that category. That's just me. Again, you have 4 brand new opinions to pick upon, and I'm pretty sure they all loved it. So, it's not that I don't like it, it's just I had it in a higher regard as a young kid, teenager, when I first watched it the first 3 or 4 times. And now, 20 years later, I expected something different, and it wasn't what I expected. That happens every now and again. So long story short, if you're looking for a really meaty, a good story, something that isn't quickly paced as far as slashers are concerned, Candyman has certainly, again, that early 90s horror, mainstream horror boom where you have Silence of the Lambs and films like that, and Candyman I would put right in that group. This is, horror with a bit of a smarter edge to it. A better made film. You have Silence of the Lambs 7. I would put this in that group. This isn't, Friday the 13th. This isn't Halloween. This isn't Black Christmas. Sure, there's killing, but there's a lot more else going on here. I would even say it's better than Hellraiser. Don't shoot me. But of course, that's my opinion. Let me know down below how much you disagree. And by all means, check out Brian Lomax's review, Cody Leach's review, Mother Mayhem's review, and Drum Dum's review. They're all rah-rah about it. Again, I don't hate it. I was expecting something else. My childhood memories of just how imposing Candyman is. Tony Todd, just incredible. That voice. There's got to be some reverb or something added to that, but that first introduction, that Helen, that is fucking scary if you're a kid. And I guess I had that on like 10th level. Holy fuck, this is the greatest thing ever. And it is. It's a brilliant scene, but nothing else in the movie really matches that. And I guess that's what, like, I don't know. It's like if you watched something, like if as a kid you thought Jaws 4 was incredible, and then, well, that's a really bad analogy. It's like if you were as a kid and you thought A League of Their Own was a really, really, really good movie. It's good. It's not the greatest thing ever, and that's kind of, I should stop doing analogies. I don't hate it. It's just, it's not as strong as I remembered. There's your warning. If you're looking for a slasher, a typical kill, 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 this isn't that movie. Again, you have Bye Bye Man, which is, I don't know, it's fast-paced, but why? And then you have Urban Legend, which covers very similar topics, is a lot faster paced. And again, they teach Urban Legend. Robert Englund is basically the stepfather from Terminator 2's character in Urban Legend. They do it quicker, they do it faster, and it's a lot more of a slasher. And then on the other end of the spectrum, you have a nice methodical paced movie, which is Candyman. I don't know what else the fuck to say. I didn't want to do this anyway. Lee and Cody bought the fucking thing and they said, hey, let's review this. And I said, cool. Cool.